Hi, welcome to the Heart Handmade UK YouTube channel. I want to welcome you to this video where we are going to create a beautiful Christmas sign on wood, and it's going to be a lot easier than you think, using this template from Design Bundles, some acrylic white ink, some brown acrylic paint, a very pointy metal tool, a B pencil, and a thick piece of balsa wood about 12 inches by 4 inches. So after I printed my template, I used the B pencil to do that classic image transfer technique that we all learnt in primary school, elementary school. I am using a B pencil because it's the softest and it will transfer to the balsa wood. I also will be using the little metal pointy tool that looks like a paintbrush. It's actually used in flower making, paper flower making, but for art it's fantastic, especially when used with balsa wood, because we're able to add a little bit of pressure and create divots, which means that whenever we paint, we'll still be able to see what we want to write. So this is such an easy technique. Anybody can do it. I wanted to create a Christmas craft that was achievable and easy to redo if you're a disabled person or you can't afford a Cricut machine, whatever. These don't need to be vinyl signs always. In fact, I actually prefer hand painted to vinyl. I think it looks a lot more impressive. And now I'm just going to speed through this bit because you know exactly what I'm doing, and I really don't have an awful lot to say while it's going on. I don't want to make this video much longer than it needs to be. Now we have mixed up a little burnt sienna for the first layer of wood effect paint on the balsa wood. I then have created a little dark brown wash that went on top of that, and it actually went pretty well. You don't need to paint the back, just the sides, the top, the bottom and the front, and then leave it to dry while you go ahead and do whatever the heck you want. It shouldn't take too long to dry, like if it's winter, so stick it on the radiator or stick it in a sunny windowsill and let that paint dry off completely. Once it's dry, then you can get white acrylic ink, and really a thin paintbrush is going to be required so that you can paint your hand lettering a lot easier. Now I want to give you a few tips here whenever it comes to using acrylic ink and a really thin paintbrush. The reason my hand was flat there was so that I could rest my hand upon the flatter hand to kind of steady it, because I do suffer from shakes and tremors. It can happen a lot. Whenever you put ink on the paintbrush, make sure you are always doing the downward stroke of the word in the thicker paint, right? Just in case it bleeds or it makes the line thicker than you would have expected, because the thin lines can only really be achieved whenever there's not too much paint on the brush, and it will save you from ruining your project altogether. Just watch. I've sped this up, but if you watch the way I do things, I fill in the thickest parts first and then go back and do the thin parts. And sometimes I even mess those up, but I don't mind, because part of my style includes my tremors, my chronic illness and my disabilities, and if I didn't have those wonky lines in places, it wouldn't be my work, right? So this is pretty easy to do, because whenever we did that classic image transfer technique, we would have added some pressure and created those little lines in the wood, like deep in the wood, like little tiny little trenches for the ink to fall through. And it makes it so much easier to follow. And you can even still see some of the outline if you're having a wee look. You can see the outline of the pencil snowflake, which I'm just about to do now. Again, make sure that you don't load up your paintbrush too much. If you feel like your paintbrush is loaded too much, you can always go back to a thick part of another letter that you've done. Like, there's nothing to say that you have to make that thick blob go into your snowflake. You can stick it in that end if you need to. And please excuse my hair getting in the way. I am blind, so I have to get quite close. So if you just scooch back a few seconds, it was very easy to see the lines that had been made in that W. Like, whenever I say it was like indented into the wood. So I am absolutely, completely impressed with this project. I really had a lot of fun doing it. It's very simple. It will take you a little bit of time, but not that much. You can do it within half an hour for sure. And then after I finished this, if you go and look at the design bundles listing where I got this template, the lady has presented it as a cut file for a Cricut, and she has done this using dark wood and vinyl. So I have decided to take it a step further, doing it with paint and then adding in my own snowflakes with this gorgeous acrylic dots everywhere. And that's that little nettle tool, the little pointer tool. It's fantastic. If you like to do art journaling, white acrylic ink and these kinds of tools are really excellent mark makers and just fantastic to have in your toolkit. I hope that you've enjoyed this project and you feel that it is entirely achievable, because I absolutely loved it, and it has gone on display where I can see it in my craft room, and I've been singing the song non-stop all morning. Don't forget to like, share, comment and subscribe, and thank you so much for watching. Can't wait to see you next time.